The first howl echoed through the forest at exactly 9:47 p.m. Mara Voss froze, instinctively checking her watch as a chill crawled down her spine. She had been hiking for nearly 3 hours after taking a trail that never appeared on her map. Darkness had swallowed the last traces of daylight. Mara wasn't supposed to be alone. The trip had been planned with her sister, Dana, as a chance to repair months of silence between them. Earlier that afternoon, Dana twisted her ankle near the second overlook. Mara insisted on finishing the hiking loop by herself. "I'll be back before dark," she had promised confidently. Now, that promise felt impossible to keep. A second howl shattered the silence. This one sounded much closer than the first. Before she could think, her body reacted. She turned and began running through the trees. Her flashlight bounced wildly across rocks, roots, and twisted branches as panic took control. Mara remembered reading that you should never run from predators. You should stand tall and slowly back away. But fear erased every survival tip she had ever learned. Running was the only thing she could do. Then another howl came from her left. Seconds later, another answered from somewhere behind her. They weren't simply calling. They were surrounding her. Mara had grown up in quiet farmland where the woods were harmless. Nothing in her life had prepared her for this night. Every ancient survival instinct inside her screamed the same command: run faster. Branches whipped across her face as she sprinted deeper into the forest. Pain shot through her ankle, but she never slowed down. Somewhere behind her, something crashed through the underbrush with terrifying speed. It was following her. For the first time, Mara truly believed she might never leave these woods alive. As she ran, thoughts of Dana filled her mind. Her sister was probably still waiting at the trailhead, growing more worried by the minute. Mara regretted every harsh word they had exchanged months earlier. None of those arguments seemed important anymore. Suddenly, her boot caught on a thick root. She crashed hard onto the rocky ground. The impact knocked the air from her lungs. She lay frozen, listening to the terrifying silence around her. Then she noticed something unusual. Far below the trees, a warm yellow light glowed in the darkness. At first she thought it was her imagination. But the light remained steady. A cabin. A real cabin hidden deep inside the forest. Hope exploded inside her. Without hesitation, she scrambled to her feet and sprinted toward the light. Behind her, the howling had stopped completely. Somehow, the silence frightened her even more. The cabin slowly emerged from the darkness. Smoke drifted from its stone chimney, and a single window glowed warmly. Mara reached the front porch and pounded desperately on the wooden door with both fists. "Please. Somebody help me," she screamed into the night. She glanced back toward the trees. Several pairs of glowing eyes stared from the edge of the clearing. The wolves didn't attack. They simply watched her from the shadows as though waiting for something. The cabin door suddenly swung open. An elderly man stood there holding a shotgun at his side. His tired eyes moved from Mara to the glowing eyes beyond the clearing. Instead of surprise, his face showed recognition. "Inside," the old man said calmly. "Now." Mara rushed inside without looking back. The heavy wooden door slammed shut behind her. She collapsed against the door, shaking uncontrollably as relief and terror overwhelmed her. The cabin was small but warm. A crackling wood stove filled the room with comforting heat and the smell of pine. The old man quietly noticed the cuts on her hands and face before handing her a steaming cup of hot tea. Between shaky breaths, Mara described the wolves chasing her through the forest. The old man listened carefully before explaining that she had wandered into Hollow Ridge, where generations of wolves had made their home. He introduced himself only as Elias. He offered no last name and asked for nothing in return. Elias assured her she would be safe until sunrise. Outside, one distant howl faded into the night before complete silence returned. Mara asked if there was a phone or radio so she could contact Dana, but Elias sadly explained there was no signal anywhere on the ridge. Exhausted, she wrapped herself in a blanket beside the fire and eventually drifted into a restless sleep while Elias quietly kept watch through the window. Morning transformed the terrifying forest into a peaceful landscape bathed in golden sunlight, making the horrors of the night seem almost impossible. Elias guided Mara through hidden trails until they reached the main trailhead, carefully avoiding the wolves' territory. Dana spotted her from across the parking lot and rushed forward despite her injured ankle, hugging her tightly with tears in her eyes. When Mara turned to properly thank Elias, the old man had vanished. The empty tree line showed no sign that he had ever been there. On the drive home, Mara couldn't stop thinking about the mysterious cabin and the lone light that had appeared exactly when she needed it most. She never returned to Hollow Ridge, but ever since that night, she has always left her own porch light burning, hoping that if another lost soul ever wandered through the darkness, they too might find their way to safety.